Okay, so take this off.
Mhm.
All right, let me try again, and then I'll just mute it back.
Sorry, should be up here. So yeah, that's
Okay.
what's going on here. I'll be here.
Okay.
I'll be
I
here
wanted
tomorrow.
to ask you something.
What, girl? Go. Tell me.
So right now, how you see how we are live streaming it to our community
Okay,
channel?
so take this off. All right, let me
Um, have you ever worked with any community where they do these kind of live streaming from a meeting room like this big to directly to a community channel without? So how we're doing it right now? It's on Zoom. Then that Zoom is broadcasting onto YouTube Live, and from
Okay.
YouTube Live, it is going to a community channel.
Okay.
So, is there any way we can just directly live stream this to our community channel? Any idea?
I've never done it before. I typically don't work in the, the two-way world. So yeah, can't help you there.
Right.
I do mostly high-end home theater systems for people, but I
Got
also do some commercial stuff.
Okay.
You guys are one of my two commercial accounts.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
But yeah, that's
Are you
sorry.
all done? Oh, yes.
No, I'm just I'm kind of letting him get in his thing, make sure he's good to go, and then I'll keep working for a couple more hours.
Oh, she did? Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's weird. Oh, she did? Okay, perfect.
Long-term life plan community CCRC. And the reason it's so important is two major things. One, if I go to, like, I like going out to dinner, but my wife and I go to the same restaurants a lot. Why? Because they know us. And when we go to dinner, I like to sit and have a bottle of wine or a cocktail before we order dinner. I don't have to explain that to those people. So when you have resident or staff that knows you, you don't have to explain that we want this, or I want my apartment cleaned a certain way. So you feel comfortable. It's tiring to constantly tell people, I want this, or I want that. So they know what you want. And most importantly, over time, you develop a personal relationship with those individuals. And you enjoy that personal relationship. But if those individuals are constantly turning over, you lose those relationships. And is that fun? No. So that being said, I will close with this and then I'll answer some questions. We still have to hold ourselves accountable, which means we are here to provide you with high quality food, high quality services, high quality amenities. You have paid a lot of money to live here, and you pay a lot of money every single month. And we have to make sure we provide you with good value. So whatever that value quotient is to you, I have to make sure that we provide it. So there are going to be times that I need to make decisions which some people may not agree with. And I will discuss why we're doing it, but I am still a business person and I have a fiduciary responsibility to take care of your assets. Most people here didn't think they would live this long, correct? Again, I've been in the old age business, sorry, longer than most of you have been old. And the thing that matters is that a lot of people are living longer than they think they are or would. And we need to make sure that your assets remain with you. So we have to watch how we spend money. We have to watch that we make enough to make sure this place is kept new and fresh and vibrant without putting all the bill onto you. Making sure your service fees don't go up like a lot of communities, 10, 12%. And that's part of what I need to do. So sometimes I will have to make decisions which you may not agree with, or the staff members and team members may not love, but I will explain why I'm doing it. So with that, that was 10 minutes. Open it up for questions for like 5 or 10 minutes and then go on to the normal meeting. Sound good to you? Okay, anyone have a question? Wow. Well, I'm gonna get out while the getting's good.
This is not TLG way.
Come on, guys. All right,
Here, I have a question. Microphone.
Judy.
So you touched on something that is very important to me, and that is making sure that people can live here safely as long as possible. And we do have a foundation with a benevolence fund. And I'm wondering, do you have experience with benevolence programs and a foundation that has that type of fund?
Sure. To answer your question, I've worked for not-for-profits before. If you see my resume, they called me the vice president of residential services. I worked for a not-for-profit called Masonicare. And obviously it was a Masonic organization, and they had the same thing. They had the Masonic Benevolence Fund. And that was something where people who, after a certain amount of time, ran out of their assets, we would make sure that they could remain in either their apartment or wherever they were for the rest of your life based on that. So yes, I've worked with families, done what I needed to do, and to make sure that when they call it a life plan community, it's life plan, not life plan until you run out of money. So did I answer your question? Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Yes. We've broken the dam. No.
In the past, in addition to the state of the business on alternate Thursdays, we've had chats and with the executive director. And is that something that you plan to continue?
Yes. Usually what I'd like to do is have that twice a month, whether it's a coffee with whatever and chats to do this. I think it's very important, especially, I'm a big believer in improving services, improving quality care. And while you're making those changes, people need to know why, where, how. And that's why I will have those talks. So yes, I'm looking forward to it. As you can tell, like my mom says, I'm loquacious. Next person. Yes, Grant.
There we go.
One of the things I found, and I've only been here 4 months, was there's a lot of committees. And that's all the information I could get. There's a lot of committees. What are they? Where do they meet? When do they meet? Is there a way we can get that information be made more available specifically to new people?
Sure. If you didn't hear the question about committees, I once worked at a community that had 29 committees. Yeah, there was a flower committee and a tree committee. No, I'm not kidding. They were different. Anyway, yes, one of the things that what I hope to do is, depending on the committee, is to talk about those things in the state or in my chats and things like that. Who's interested in this? Grant came to me about a location for a billiard table or this or that. I want to say yes as much as possible. I grew up with a philosophy called the answer is yes, what's the question? My grandfather had restaurants, my uncles had restaurants, and that's the way they operated. So I want to be able to say yes as much as possible. And while I'm saying yes, I want to share those thoughts with you. So yes, I will be, we're going to have a poker, we're going to have a flower committee. Who's interested in doing this? Art committee, what have you. So yes, I will make sure that they are broadcast far and wide.
Nope. Here we go. Thank you.
When he comes to the resident association meeting, he'll find out a lot about the committees.
Okay, so resident association meetings, things like that.
When and where?
So, well, that's one of the things that I feel, well, hold on a second. What I plan to do, again, in this situation, I'm kind of like the mayor of this town. Okay. And it's important to me that I announce and encourage people to these committees and to activities and leisure events. And so I will work towards that end. Next question. We're good. So what I know about the Galleria project is not a lot. I'm sorry. I know that they're going to be starting construction in the next few months. I've been involved with, I don't know how many communities. I've helped design and open about 75 communities. I've also helped to retrofit about 45. Because of that, I know how disruptive construction can be, both psychologically and physically. So what I tend to do is put out a weekly memo, which tells you what's going to be happening. This coming Monday, they're going to be jackhammering. That sound could be heard far away. We're going to be laying carpet. When you lay carpet, guess what? Things are closed off and it smells. If we're going to be doing painting or any type of thing, there's going to be dust. Just like they're putting up the solar panels and you're trying to park and you can't get into the garage, hypothetically, you need to know that, otherwise you're frustrated. So when we begin construction, we'll do two things. One, you'll put out a weekly calendar. This is happening. This is going on. On top of that, we will have the discussion like this so I can answer questions, not just this is happening. So I can assure you of that. Yes. Do me a favor when you, I'm trying to remember your names, but if you can tell me your name so I can start remembering them.
Linda,
Linda, nice to see you.
very nice to see you. One of the things that's happened in the past when we've had construction is there's lots of walkway changes, access changes, and that's not been made known to residents, ahead before they run into them. So if you can make that part of your weekly or whatever method you use, that would be a very big help, especially to people who are not so mobile.
Yeah, no, and that's what I feel. I mean, you're a little different situation that you have outside walkways where they're not internal walkways. So it becomes more important that I communicate this walkway at this time, don't go here, don't go there. Like I said, I've been involved in so much construction that I've learned from a lot of mistakes that everyone needs to know, especially anything that produces noise or smell. Those are the two big ones, noise and smell. Because people don't like that.
It's
Yes.
good you brought that up because this morning at 7:30, there were people on our roof
Yeah.
with the solar. And I spoke with Vincent about it and he said, 8 o'clock was reasonable. And I said that. And he also mentioned that they wanted to probably beat the rain, which I understand completely. My point that I want to make is though, I would like to know what the progress is of the solar. When because I see panels going up on assisted living and I see panels over on another building. But I don't know, are they putting them up on ours? Is that the last step of ours? I'd like to know what the steps are and where we stand
Okay.
with those steps.
What I could do is I will talk with Vincent and I will put out a memo as far as what the progress, I need to catch up to speed. One of the things I apologize is being behind closed doors. I'm not as, I haven't, thank you. I haven't been informed. So anyway, yes, I can assure you with construction and those things, I will keep you informed on what we're doing, why we're doing it, and then also when there's other renovations, what we're planning and why, which may be 6 or 8 months down the road.
I
Yes.
would like to know what is the construction in the Galleria? We had a voting and most people were against the fireplace. And our understanding is that you are going through with the fireplace, but we don't have no idea. You are going to do a big construction, but we have no idea what the construction is.
Okay, so I've in my office, I have seen some charrettes or whatever you call it. I don't know for sure whether or not I understand that the fireplace was a point of contention. I don't know for sure if it's happening or not. I can tell you though, as with any community, there is a delicate balance between making our car. I'm going to give you a car analogy. If you don't mind, I give car analogies. Does anyone know what the best-selling car in 1984 was? I know I bought one. What? Nope. Nope. They're not in business anymore. No. Who said it? Oldsmobile. The best-selling car in America in 1984 was the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. I know I bought one. I graduated college that year. Love that car. $7,000, no air conditioning. Anyway, 16 years later, Oldsmobile was out of business. Do you know why? Because they kept on building that model for the people that were happy with that car, and they didn't evolve. They didn't change the model. Now, you bought, whenever you moved in here, you bought a 2010 Terraces of Los Gatos. You bought a 2018 Terraces of Los Gatos. Whenever you moved in, you bought that model. Our job is to every year change the model slightly. Like I have a Honda. I've always had Hondas ever since my Oldsmobile. And they're pretty much, when I get in a Honda, I know where everything is. Even if it changes model to model, I feel comfortable in that. If you bought a Terraces of Los Gatos, I want you to feel comfortable in it this year and the next year and everything. However, in order to keep selling Terraces of Los Gatos and not become Oldsmobile, I have to do what? Balance where some people I know might not like a fireplace with every other car company or community is doing this and this. And in order to compete, we may have to do this. So I'm just explaining there's a balance. I need to keep you happy with a similar car. But if we don't make a new model every year and put airbags in and Bluetooth and GPS and everything else, I don't want to be Oldsmobile, and that's why I've been brought here. Not saying we're going to do that. So to answer your question, sorry, I don't know about the fireplace, but I will tell you, we want to give you or have a consensus, but sometimes you're going to make decisions like, I'll give you a perfect example. I have a 2010 Honda Accord Coupe, 6-cylinder, 6-speed. It's a manual. They don't make them anymore. So consequently, I'm not happy with Honda. So when my engine blew at 286,000 miles, I put a new engine in it. And I'm going to have to do other things, but they're not making the car I want anymore. So I understand your point. You still want that feeling, but we got to change it a little. Sorry for the long diatribe. Well, hopefully not that big a change. And I don't know about the fireplace, and I'm sorry. But again, what I'm trying to show, we got to get on to other things. What I'm trying to represent and show you today, I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to tell you the why and the wherefore. Sometimes you're going to agree with me, sometimes you're not, and you're going to work with me and we'll come to some mutual agreement as much as possible. But we have to think about today, tomorrow, and 30 years from now. We have to think of all those things, not just today. Any other questions before I turn it over to the people that really matter? No, it's true. No. My job is to support them. We good? All right, I'm going to turn it over to my friend Bill. Oh, never mind. See, you know what they say, all glory is fleeting.
I wish I looked like that.
Bill, there's a lot to unpack there. If I could bring up Linda, our esteemed marketing director or director of sales, I'm sorry.
And I vote for you, Bill. I think you look better. We usually stand back here, but since you were in front, I kind of like it. I like not being up there, actually. I'll be quick today. Good afternoon. I'll be quick because, as you know, last month in December or in January, when we were reporting for the end of the year, it was a really long presentation, I think, that I gave because we had so much information to unpack. My team and I had a really, and the community, I mean, we had a really good year in 2023. So I gave you a lot of statistics at that time. So today I'm really just updating on the current occupancy. We expect a really strong year again. We've started out strong in January. Sometimes in January's we don't have any move-ins because we bring them all in at the end of the year and strong. But our wait list is really strong. We have had internal transitions. My team's rocking and rolling. And so I really appreciate Jane and EJ and then the internal departments that we partner with. So as of the end of January, we ended independent living at 98%. So that's 172 apartments occupied out of the 175 that we have. Thank you. Memory support ended at 100%. We have 16 suites and 16 are full. And then in the lodge, which is our assisted living, we ended at 96%, 43 apartments occupied out of 45. And then there's some internal discussions with family members, so there may be some movement there. Out of the 3 independent apartments or residential that we have, 1 is reserved, 2 just recently, probably as of last week, I think those just vacated. So Jana and I have been diligently showing those, and I think me and Jana would both bet that by tomorrow, because we've had multiple tours a day, both of us, by tomorrow, Monday at the latest, the 2 that we have, a patio home and a 1-bedroom, they'll be sold. You can come ask us Monday, they'll be sold. And then I think that's pretty much it. But I would like to welcome the January move-ins. So if you're here, feel free to stand up so that we can see your smiling faces. And if you're not here, you may be watching on Zoom. And then hopefully you all that are here will welcome your new neighbors. So we have Patrick and Lynn Doherty, who are in D129, and Carlo and Evelyn Padron in N261. And we have Sue Cooney, who is in M252. And I think that's pretty much it. We look forward to another great and successful year. We appreciate all the people that you send to us. A lot of our business is through resident referrals, and we appreciate you. We appreciate the resident council. We appreciate our welcoming committee and everything that you do to help us be a success. So thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Wow, we should have her closed, not open. I will be reporting for Christy, who is our Director of Human Resources. She is out for the weekend. She is celebrating her 35th wedding anniversary. So she's out having fun with her husband, I hope. She always loves to report on our longevity and the new hires. So here are her stats. So onboarding in progress, we have 3. 1 is a resident assistant. 1 is a health center RN. We were able to find an RN for our overnight shift. Very blessed to find that person. Yes, we also have a new admissions coordinator. You met Nicole last month, I believe. She's our post-acute who brings in all of our residents from the hospital. So she's doing a great job, and now she has someone to help her, and that person should be starting in a week or so. New hires. I don't know if you've heard this, but we have a new executive director. We have 4 new housekeepers, 1 wellness nurse, and 1 cook. Amazing. We continue to attract great talent. February anniversaries, we have a total of 21. Celebrating 0 to 5 years, we have 11 team members. 6 to 10 years, we have 3 team members. 11 to 15 years, we have 1 team member. 16 to 20 years, we have 4 team members. Isn't that amazing? 21 to 25 years, we have 1. If you all know Gabriela Rodriguez, she's a cook, 23 years. So if you see her, congratulate her. 26 to 30 years, 1 team member. That is, Wazid celebrated 30 years last year. So his partner in crime, Manuel Gutierrez, in maintenance, 30 years. Wow. Amazing. And then our overall turnover continues to be okay. We're in about the 22%. That's not bad in this industry. It's usually much higher. All right, on to the main show. Here we are.
Enough for the coming attractions.
Yes, enough for the coming attractions. So the health center, we're at 43 right now. We usually hover around 52. I've heard a lot from my partners that do this for a living in the industry. There's a little slowdown right now, but we expect to pick that up in February. January is usually a slowdown in the Bay Area, and then February it picks right up. So we expect to get to 52, 55 within the next few weeks or so. And as I mentioned, Nicole's doing a great job, and now she has a partner to help us with that situation. And I am happy to announce today was the launch of our PCC. Remember, we were transitioning from our past electronic medical record system to a new system. So the team had been working for about 20 days prepping for that, training, learning the ins and outs. And we launched at 6 a.m. this morning with minor hiccups. So proud of the team. And that's community-wide, from health center to wellness to assisted living to memory care. It was a lot for that team to pick up, but they were troopers. They continue to work, and we'll have people here around the clock until the 6th. So do you remember when I asked you for kindness because we reserved the conference room until the 31st? Thank you for that. That has been a blessing for the team to have that space for training. They will be clearing out that space today, so it'll be available from here on out. So you'll get your conference room back. I have to ask for your forgiveness again. They needed a war room. So these people who are here helping us are here till the 7th around the clock. So we reserved the Redwood room for them. So if you were in need of the Redwood room, I apologize. And once again, I ask you for kindness and forgiveness for that until they leave on the 7th. They're here to help our team continue that transition so that we don't have bugs and things of that nature, and they can solve those right away. And I do apologize in advance if we ever booted you out of the conference room or the Redwood room, but it's for a good cause. Was there a question for me? Yes, ma'am. I'll walk to you.
At what point in time is that going to be integrated with Cubicle so that we've got the same data on your electronic system that we have on Cubicle in terms of residents? It matters.
I understand it. So the systems will not integrate. We will put the data in as far as who are residents in the health center into Cubicle, but they won't integrate between the two systems. They don't talk to each other. Well, the electronic, it's just for medical records, but we will make sure it was someone sitting behind a desk entering that data into Cubicle. I will find out. I was not brought up to speed on that integration. Any other questions regarding the health center? Oh, question. Could you start over?
You told us what the senior staff was composed of. Would it be possible to give us an org chart of the senior staff? Make that available?
So I'll answer that question. Yes, we will provide, where's Kendall or someone to help me? Okay, we will create a new org chart for senior staff. Yes, sir.
Okay, if there are no further questions for me, I will move on to the rest of the talent. Is Paul here? Oh, Paul's not here, but I do not have a report for Paul. Adrian. There you go, sir.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. All right, I hope you guys are having a good day. So for my report today, I just want to let you guys know now that my team is a full team. We're going to be having 7-day-a-week coverage here. So if you need to speak to any activities person, you know where the activities office is. It's right around from the dining room. Oh, be careful.
Yeah.
Don't steal my shine.
I'll break my neck on someone else's time.
So my office is right around the corner from the dining room. It's right where the wall is of pictures and different, right now we have the quilting on the wall. So it's right at that where that wall is. So we now have a full team, as I said, and we introduced Alexis to our team. So she's now a coordinator. So she'll be working with both independent living and assistant living. So she's not here, she's probably helping out somewhere, but we're gonna be not in office a lot. We're gonna be on the floor. There's gonna be activities for independent living, hands-on activities. There's gonna be a lot more discussion topics. We're getting a lot of lecturers in. I'm working with Jenny as well to bring in a lot more people in to do different events and educational activities as well. We are also, for the month of February, we're gonna be doing Alexis. She created this whole African-American people about like the Black History Month. So she's gonna be having like different discussions on that. So I highly recommend that you guys sign up for some of these activities because we wanna know how many persons are coming to these activities so we can cater to the number that is signed up. So for every activity that you see you're interested in and you want to be a part of, I highly, highly encourage that you sign up for these activities because it helps us create a better atmosphere for you guys. And we know the numbers who are coming, so that way you guys can be very comfortable within the activity and don't have to be shuffling around to try to find extra seats or stuff like that for you. So we encourage that you sign up. A lot of these activities we're going to be capping because we don't have the space to host a lot. So we're going to be doing mirroring activities. So the same event that we have on, for example, on Monday, we're going to mirror it for a Tuesday. So you can sign up for that on a Tuesday again, so that you can know and be a part of activities like that. So we highly, highly encourage that you guys sign up for these activities. Yeah, that's about it from me. Any questions? Sure.
Thank you. In the past, pre-COVID, one of the activities that we used to have was going out to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us still drive, but there are a lot of people in independent living who do not drive. And it gave them the opportunity to go out to restaurants. And obviously during COVID, we couldn't do that, but things have changed a great deal. And is it possible to start that again? Please?
Definitely. We, if you notice, it's been last month, if we never had the outbreak, we had a couple places that we posted to sign up. One was Rosie's at the beach in Morgan Hill. That was going to be a restaurant that the independent living resident was going to go to. But if you look on Cubigo, there's a few restaurant outings that we have on there for the month of February. So you can always go on, sign up. That is cap also. So it's a first come, first served basis.
If I could just comment, I will encourage, as we can within our budgetary constraints, everything, those outings and going out to dinner, going out to lunch, going out to wineries and things like that, because I think it's very important that for people that don't drive anymore, that have that access. So that's important to me.
Yes. Yeah. And please sign up. I can't say it enough. Please, please, please sign up. Any more questions for me?
Adrian, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to stand at the podium because I'm shorter than a lot of the people. And I don't think you'll see me very well if I don't stand on the stage. Oh, forgot to take this off, sorry. I don't have a lot this afternoon. I've been working the past month, as you know, due to the COVID outbreak. I was doing a lot of reports for the State Department and getting the information to our California Department of Social Services, which is a requirement for this type of a community. I want to give you an update. Assessments, wellness assessments continue in the month of February. Since January, wellness nurses and team were working and doing the training for PCC. So we have started again, concierges are calling as of yesterday, I believe, or the day before, and scheduling residents in RL or residential living, independent living, to do a wellness assessment with Angelica Navarro, who is a wellness nurse. Angelica is new to our community, and she will be the one organizing and doing the assessments with the residents at this time. Currently, I did a count as of December. We had 20, from December to January, we had 29 assessments that were completed. So we'll continue and we hopefully will get that all done by March. That's our deadline. The other thing I'd like to tell you about is that Andra is the lead concierge now. As you know, Omar has decided to continue his studies, and Omar Romero was the lead concierge. The only difference is that Andra is what we call a working concierge at the front desk. She'll be working at the front desk and doing some extra tasks for me as well. So we'll see how that works. So I'm doing a lot more of the clerical stuff that Omar was doing for me. So that's just added tasks, which I'm able to do. Do you have any questions? Thank you. Yeah, I'll have the rest of a good rest of the day.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you. Everyone, just have a few important updates, buildings and grounds. So many of you are aware, the solar project has been ongoing and we are finally to a close. But to finish this project, we have one important thing to do. On 3 separate days near the end of this month, and I have dates which I'll share, we'll be needing to power down the buildings, meaning you'll be without power from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Yeah, looking forward to this. So the Solar Gain, the company doing the solar projects, working with PG&E, and PG&E's on a tight schedule, obviously. I'll be sending all this information out on TLG Connect, but on February 26th, buildings L and patio homes H through K. On February 27th, buildings Q, R, and P will be without power. And on February 28th, buildings N, M, and P. Again, I'll post a schedule with the times, the dates, and more detailed exactly which apartments. I know this is an inconvenience to everyone. I've been working with Adrian and activities. On these days, we plan to have activities here in the Galleria and in the GRA for you to come have coffee, enjoy a movie, and other activities to fulfill the day until the power is returned. But do know when that power goes out, you will have no heating, nothing will work. Treat it as a power outage. Leave your refrigerators closed. But we'll be here, and hopefully PG&E and Solar Gain will be able to complete these before 4 p.m., but they leave an exaggerated time just in case.
Do you coordinate with wellness for people who have medical equipment?
Yes, we are aware of those medical equipment. They'll be treated as needed. That's really the major update. Again, look for that on TLG Connect. Smaller updates. I know some of you noticed with the rain, above the parking garage, some of the sheetrock has given way and has left the exposed. We'll be back to do the repairs on that, so we are aware of that and working to do that. Also, notice will be sent out later this afternoon on Monday, Autumn Courtyard, where the fitness center is. There will be some stump grinding starting at 10 a.m. So there will be some noise on that day. Stump grinding. Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, that's all I have, unless there are any questions for me.
Thank you, Vincent, for that information. I'm on the HG Sustainability Committee, and they are all of the communities that are having solar installation told us that we will be powered down because they have to connect the solar panel grids to PG&E. So that's one thing. The second thing is the evacuation sign outside on the wall opposite my door has fallen down twice. They tried putting it up again, and I don't know, maybe the stucco needs to be reinforced or something like that. So that will have to be reinstalled.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that, but we'll put more adhesive on there.
We had the heavy rain, and thank you for the notice about the weather that you put in our mailboxes. In front of apartment 289, there is a drain, and across from that is the side of the building that faces the P building that faces the pool. That area there's a downspout that empties into it, and there is no drain by the downspout. So what happens is all the water comes, and it comes. I was out there last night with a broom, sweeping the water toward the drain so that it wouldn't go into Virginia Miller's apartment in 289.
Okay.
P. And because of all the work on the roof, the gravel from the shingles has been loosened, and the P building pavement is just loaded with that gravel and sand, and it builds up toward the drains. And I was out there with the broom sweeping that up too.
Okay, we'll get housekeeping. We'll get it cleaned up. All right, thank you.
That's it. So I wanted to thank all of our directors. Do we have this once a month? Once a month, and then we'll have the two when it's convenient time with activities and everything to have the talk, with Peter and that type of thing. Before we close, are there any other questions that I might be able to answer, or anything else regarding the community or anything? Yes, ma'am. Thanks.
Do you have any idea as to when the recommendation for wearing masks will be lifted?
So my understanding in this county that it will end March 1st or March 31st. So 2 more months. So that's the recommendation from the county. So any other questions I can help you with? Yes, ma'am.
Are you going to be real involved in overseeing? Are you going to be very involved in overseeing what's going on in our dining room?
Okay, so my background again was restaurant business and being a food and beverage consultant in CCRCs for a long time. So yes, I am. That's kind of my wheelhouse. is, I will tell you just what my philosophy on food is and where we want to go with it. I believe in plainer cook to order food, much more like Chop House type of food. So high quality proteins along with fresh vegetables and starches. So while we still are going to have what I call comfort food, you know, stews and things like that, we're also going to have more higher quality, whether it's a New York strip, whether it's a rack of lamb, whether it's a good piece of swordfish, fresh asparagus, scallops, baked scallops, things like that. No, so I'm just saying is those type of items without a lot of sauces, and they can be available if you want them. But in order to do that and stay within our budget, I will tell you this, one of the things that we have to do is eliminate food waste. See, the cooking and holding of batch food creates a lot of food waste. However, in order to have good cook to order food, you can't cook it ahead of time at all. What does that mean? If everyone comes at the same time, you may have to wait while the food is cooked to order. Now, the one thing I will tell you, not to go too much on a tangent, the size of the kitchen does not affect how long you wait. That is a total misnomer. Does the deciding factor is what I call the pickup line or the choke point. In the kitchen, I'll be happy to take you back there anytime. We're cooking food, but you have what, 30 tables in the dining room? About, okay. So you all come in and all the food is there. Now, even if we cook the food all ahead of time, it takes the cook 2 to 3 minutes to have one ticket, say, okay, you know, Peter wants this, and they want this, and they want this, and all the food is plated up, put in the window, checked, and taken away. That takes at least 2 minutes. So if there are 30 tables lined up, how long between the first and the last? An hour. And that has nothing to do with the size of the kitchen or the cooking equipment or anything. It has to do with the ability to plate one table at one time, put it in the pickup window where the heat lamps are, and take it away. So my philosophy is we are going to do everything we can to make sure that you get good quality food and good quality service without waste, because we'll take that money and put it into a higher quality product. So for instance, between the labor and the waste of beef stew, I can give you a ribeye. Between the labor and the waste for a seafood stew or some other product, I can give you a fresh sole. So my goal is to do a number of things. For instance, we're going to be in the assisted living and in the memory care and skilled, is to move to more open dining and cook to order, especially for breakfast. Temperature of breakfast foods decrease immediately. I don't know if you made toast and you wait 2 minutes, it's cold. So, hey, Paul, we're talking about food. I hope you don't mind. So anyway, so Paul and I will be working together, his expertise as far as working on cooking food more to order or in an elongated time in our clinical areas. Again, we talked about the ability to cook food to order in the main dining room. Again, that is based on two things: having the right staff and the right quality of food, which we can do, but that means we can't waste food. Okay, and it may take a little longer if everyone comes in at the same time. You're going to wait because of that choke point. But the idea is high quality food. And I will tell you this, we never sacrifice quality of food for speed of service. So you may wait a little longer, but you're going to get a much better product. So that's my philosophy. So yes.
There's a tremendous amount of waste because many people ask for small portions and that never seems to happen.
Okay. So I will tell you, I will give you I've done consultations at 220 CCRCs over 32 years. Okay, as my son says, I am older than dirt, but he's really complimentary. Anyway, it's only about 80 a year. Almost every community I go to, two things. One, vegetables are either undercooked or overcooked. And what is small to one person and small to another is different. The one thing I will tell you, when I was a food and beverage director, I had women and men ask for a golf ball size ice cream, 4 French fries, 2 peas. Not kidding. The one thing you have to realize, 2 things happen. They're trying to plate that food as fast as possible so it doesn't get cold, because once they put those plates down, they're getting warm. I mean, they're getting cold. Okay. Once you put the food on, they're plating very quickly. One of the things you have to remember, in their speed, they're not as what's big, what's little. And the other thing is, their paradigm of what's small and yours are 2 different things. So you have to realize what's small to me, 16-ounce New York. Okay, that's small. So yes, I will work with the staff and Paul to make sure. But I will tell you, what goes on your plate is wasted is nothing compared to cooking food in big batches and holding it, because people don't want to wait or we never run out of food. Telling someone they're never going to run out of food costs you probably 30% of your food dollar. And you're spending at least $1.4 million a year on food. Am I wrong? Okay. So think of $400,000 being flushed down the you-know-what. And think of what $400,000 can do to buy fresh scallops, fresh asparagus, fresh green beans, all the things you love, and have them more available. And that's where we need to get. And I promise you, Paul is a very, very good food and beverage director. He has to be allowed to work within a, I'll use the word paradigm again, to be able to operate. Now you're going to hate this word. We're a restaurant. That's what that is. And in order to be successful, you have to operate like a restaurant, which means cooking food to order, not wasting food, spreading things out. And when I tell you, right hand to God, right hand, it will work and you will love it. But it is something which is going to take time. But in your current situation, the only way we can serve you fast enough is to cook food ahead of time, which, if you know, kills high quality food. Low quality food, great. It sits all day. Pot roast, beef stew, that can sit all day. I take a piece of salmon and I cook it and I keep it in a warmer for 10 minutes. What is it? Dry it out. Same thing with chicken. If we cook chicken ahead of time, right? Because we have to cook it to 160 degrees. If it sits for 10 minutes in a warmer, guess what? It's dried out. That's where we will work. See, they have the staff and they have the equipment. We got to buy some new stuff. But what we'll need to do is you'll need to understand when we make these changes, and you'll see the benefit. One of the things I've asked Paul to do soon, is to add a 3rd chef special, which is going to be handcrafted of higher quality foods. So that's one of the things we're going to do right away. So it's going to be a complete type of plate. So it'll be, scallops with fresh this and fresh that. It'll be a higher, rack of lamb. I want to over time get into table side, doing Caesar salads table side, things like that. What's wrong with that? Is that bad? Oh, okay. So pasta stations, things like that. But again, I will say they need to operate within a framework to make that happen. So, and I'll need your patience. Now, one of the things we can do, in addition to the cook to order, is have what's called express dining for people that don't want to wait. Linda, can I answer your question? Linda, right? I think you're wrong. I have a long-term loss.
I can't wait for the dining room to operate like a restaurant, because at a restaurant, what you order is what you get. And it would be really nice if we got what we ordered every time. If we got a sandwich that we ordered like we ordered it, it would be a blessing. So it's another place to work.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing I will tell you. And again, if I'm going too long, you can leave, but I'm happy to discuss this. One of the things that happens when you have everyone coming at once, the technical term is compression dining, which means 50% of your residents entering the dining room within a 30 to 40-minute period. What that causes is that we need a lot more staff in order to serve you. Anybody wait tables here? Come on. Okay, what's more difficult? 4 tables at once or 1 table every 10 minutes? Spread out. If you're doing anything at home, making pies or whatever, remember Lucy and Ethel? Okay, so what happened? When the conveyor belt was going slow, did they able to handle the candies? Yes. As soon as it sped up, what happened? Okay, so what occurs both in the back of the house and the front of the house is this. When everybody comes at once, you're speeding up the conveyor belt. So no matter how good your waiters or waitresses are, they're flustered. And especially if they're younger people and they're not experienced, guess what they're going to do? Make mistakes. Okay. So just in closing on that thing, I'll answer, is that by spreading things out and having less people come at once, our staff can be trained and not be rushed and will not make mistakes and will not make their orders not the right size or things like that. It's all about speed. So every time everybody comes in at once, guess what happens? We're Lucy at the candy factory.
Is there a plan for spreading it out, or are we just talking about it?
Okay, I'm more than happy to. I could tell you my plan, but it'd bore everybody. But yeah, I mean, there's a number of things. I will answer your question. There's a number of things that do that. Incentives to dine earlier or later. Talking about the need to, if you have a larger party, reservations, not that they'll be required. All things that they would do at a restaurant to help spread things out, without negatively impacting the residents. But most of it is education. Is understanding that if I do this and do this, like for instance, a lot of people come earlier because they feel the food quality goes down at the end of the night, correct? Because the food has to be cooked and held because everyone's coming at once. So yes, I have a plan.
The last seating, quote, seating in our dining room is at 6 o'clock. That's really early. And I understand why, but that's why people sort of cram in at 5:15, 5:30, so they can be out of the dining room. They really do want to have the dining room all closed up by about 6:45.
Okay, so I will
Difficult.
tell. Okay, in my other communities, and don't get mad at me. Okay. Most communities that have residents that have a higher net worth tend to dine later. My home, sorry, because I work when I do whatever, we don't eat till 8 o'clock at night because I would work until 6 or 6:30. By the time I get home, have a glass of wine, and I usually cooked when I'm home, 8 o'clock. So what I would like to do, what I'd like to do over time, yes, is elongate the hours where we're open until 7:30 or what have you. But what we need to do to make that work, we have schedule changes. We have to do all these other things. But yes, that would be my philosophy, is that we would be open from 4:30 until 7 or 7:30. So you can enter the dining room at 7 o'clock. You can enter the dining room at 7:15. So that would be, again, a goal. I'm not saying I'm doing it tomorrow, so don't say we are. But yeah, and as far as a plan is concerned, I've done this, a couple hundred times. It's methodical. It has to be planned out. I am giving you the Reader's Digest version. The book is like this. Next question. I hope I haven't bored you because we just hit 4:30. I look forward to this. Again, I'll be partnering with Paul. I assure you that he has the tools and the talent little upgrade on some of the tools. As far as the cooks, I mean, like we need a new charbroiler or a salamander, some new ranges, things like that. We can do the job, and this will be done slowly over time to show you the high quality. And as you see the high quality, you'll be more accepting of changes that occur. So first, we have to show you that we can do this, and I assure you he can. Okay? Well, this has been fun. And I appreciate your time. So thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Yeah, 100%.